What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to talk about AMC, GME as well as the broader market. So today AMC was down for 2.86% for the day. It had a high of $19.43. The average volume on AMC is around 51.35 million, but today's volume was around 40.78 million. As we already know, AMC is having its earning in the aftermarket. Most likely it's going to be beat, but the amount of volume that came in, it seems to be like a little bit suspicious. The retail is not too much into it. Usually what happens is, if there is a earning towards a company like AMC where there is a big retail sentiment towards it, there is a huge amount of volume that comes in right before the earnings. But today nothing like that happened. Now let's have a look over GME. GME was down for 3.50% for the day. It had a high of $125.87. The average volume on GME is around 3.13 million, but today's volume was around 1.09 million. This is the lowest volume. The volume has been very low on GME today. The rest, we know these two stocks are highly manipulated. They might experience a short squeeze. Now when we come over to the SPY, it had a high of $437.17. We are in a very serious situation right now. Things can go really south really soon. The negotiation that's going on between Ukraine and Russia is not going that well. They had a meeting and there was no outcome coming out of it. Vladimir Putin is still stuck on his demands that he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO, and Ukraine is still on decision of joining the NATO. So the things then seems to be like coming to an end. Hope so nothing goes really bad. We know that Vladimir Putin has put all his nukes on high alert, which could be a pretty bad sign for the overall world. Now, EU and America are trying to put a lot of sanctions on Russia, but Russia had been getting a lot of sanctions from a very long time. It hardly puts in any impact on it. But this time it's a little bit different. It's a very harsh sanctions which has been put on Russia. The ruble has almost gone down to less than a cent. We just have to wait and see what's going to happen in the coming days. As we already know, March 10th is the biggest day when we're going to get the CPI number, which is going to be the inflation number for the month of February, and most likely it's going to be higher than what it was February, which was 7.5. And then on the March 16th we have the Fed meeting. This could create a lot of downtrend into the stock market. We just have to wait and see how this is going to play out. In my personal opinion, the Feds are going to be dovish. They are not going to increase the interest rate very aggressively, but we just have to wait and see what the data is going to be coming out, what are going to be the numbers. That's how the Fed is going to decide if they're going to increase the interest rate aggressively or not. And what does that mean is, all that money which is in the market right now is going to completely vacuumed out of the stock market as well as the crypto. Now let's have a look at the options flow for AMC. So by looking at the options flow, there was one bet that came in. It's a $20 call option with $1.2 million, and this individual is buying 5,000 contracts. It's going to expire in another 43 days, and he's betting to the upside of the stock. The earnings hasn't come out yet, but I personally believe it's going to be a beat. If the things keep staying like what it is right now, I personally believe AMC is going to do very well. People still like to go to watch movies and they would love to watch some movies in the theaters. The rest, by looking at the options flow, there was nothing else suspicious coming out of the options flow for AMC. And when I look at what the whales are doing, the whales are still on to the downside, but this was the only bet that came in today. These are 5,000 contracts and it's $20 call option. That means the stock price is going to go up from here onwards. Let's have a look at the options flow for GME. By looking at the options flow, I can tell you very clearly a lot of people are onto the downside for the stock. And when I increase the premium to the max, I can see very clearly a whale came in and he bought a $100 call option, which is going to expire in another 16 days. And he's paying a premium of $119,000 and he's buying 50 contracts. That means the stock is going to go up from here onwards. Though this is not a very big whale, and when I bring back the premium down, I can see in the entire option flow there was nothing suspicious coming out of it. There is no large whale coming in putting in some sort of a bet towards the downside or towards the upside. Now let's have a look at the options flow for the SPY. Now there was something suspicious that came out of the options flow for the SPY. There were two individuals that they came in around an hour before into the market, and they were putting 15.4 million, and there was another one putting 17.1 million, and both of them are buying 30,000 contracts. One is getting a $438 call option which is going to expire in 9 days. There was another one that is buying a $445 call option which is going to expire in another 9 days. And when we look at the chart of the SPY, this was their entry point and they made a pretty good amount of money on the way up. But when I look at what the other majority of the investors are doing, they are all on to the downside. They are all betting that the SPY is going to go down from here onwards. In my personal opinion, we just have to wait and see what's going to happen in the coming days. Russia and Ukraine conflict is one main big reason behind the little bit of downfall that we are experiencing in the SPY. Most likely the year 2022 is not going to be good for a long-term investment, as the Europe and America are putting a lot of sanctions on Russia. That doesn't mean that they won't get some sort of a downtrend for themselves as well. There will be a economical hit on both Europe as well as America for putting a lot of sanctions on them. And most likely a lot of companies are going to miss their earnings. Let's hope for the best. Hope so. You like my video, please like and subscribe my channel, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.